Hi.
Hello.
Where are you today?
I wish I was in Maui. This is where I envision myself. And I'm on the beach right now in my Canadian fleece. Because that makes a lot of sense, right? Right? Hot weather with, yeah, you're just dancing away, dancing away.
Aloha.
Yeah.
Aloha.
I think this is how we're starting.
Yeah, of course it is. It wouldn't be without us.
It wouldn't be without, I know. Welcome to Part of My Mind with your co-hosts Rachel Rosen and Hero Prince.
That's me.
That's you. Yeah, I decided that you know what? It is probably we're hitting the coldest week of the year, probably where I live, probably where all of us live, maybe on the West Coast. I think this is the Arctic kind of freeze they were talking about for the next few days.
Right.
I think today was, which for Canadian standards is not even that cold because I think up here in Vernon it was like minus, gosh, 11 or 12, which, you know, people in Alberta and Saskatchewan, Manitoba, they're like, to heck with you, it's way colder here. let's have
Well,
a
yeah, of
let's have
course.
a winter weather fight, Canadian fight, good old battle talking about the winter weather. Um,
Absolutely. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
but yeah, so that's why I decided my background should look like this because it'll make me feel a little bit warmer.
I love that. I love it. It's like it's so realistic. You got the three-dimensional like moving palm tree and the
No
waves. I mean, how
kidding.
amazing is that? How
I know
advanced
it
is
is
that?
very realistic.
Yeah, it
It's
totally
better than
is.
the other like AI filters. I feel like background filters that they used to have.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I totally believe
Um,
that.
how are you? I know we're just kind of shooting the SHIT right off the bat. And you
Oh
know what?
no.
I don't know why I just spell that out because our guest coming on the show today is like all about like excitable swearing in big capital letters. Like he messages me and probably you too.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
love it. We might as well introduce him because he'll probably pop on
At
soon. And
4:59 he'll pop on
at,
because that's how prompt he is.
at 4:59. I
That's what
was
he
like,
said. He's like,
what?
I'll be on a
Oh
4:59
gosh.
waiting in the
Oh Lord.
wings. I
Okay.
know.
I think Hero's actually had more communication with him over the years than I have, but I don't know.
Hmm.
Do you feel free to maybe we've had him on before, a couple times.
Hmm.
No surprise there. He's a
No.
pretty excellent human being, but Hero, if you wouldn't mind doing the honors.
Yeah, so we are bringing back a friend of ours, and yes, I have had more communication and actual like personal phone chats with this individual. We are
Hmm.
having the one and only Shawn Antonio coming back onto our show because not only is he a very acclaimed celebrity and overall everyday human life coach, he's also someone that has recently had to experience the devastating fires in Los Angeles in California.
Hmm.
And so I was asking Rachel if he was willing to come on and talk specifically about his story and how his wife, Alicia, who also has been on our show in the past, and also their two children, what that's been like for them, as they did have to evacuate and they are safe. But I thought it would be interesting to talk about and pardoning the mental health aspect of what it must be to shift in such a urgent manner from a state of or emergency into finding a space of security, whatever that might look like.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
can only imagine what Shawn, Alicia, and their children have had to go through over the last month and a bit. And I think it would be really cool to talk to him about from that perspective and also getting an update about his life and lifestyle with his work, what he does for a living, and how he does genuinely help people live better lives, more optimal lives.
Absolutely. And I wonder how this has shifted maybe his work or has caused it to be more in demand lately just with what's been
Hmm.
happening. Well,
Good
not
point.
only just with the well, and not only just with the fires, but just in general with what's been happening in the US. And you
Hmm.
know, and I also just because it's such fresh news, there's that happened, and then I just want to know his take or his feeling of if we haven't spoken or I haven't personally spoken to any even American friends about all the stuff that's been
Mm,
going on with
politically, yep.
politically. But I mean, I don't want to get into too much. I don't even like saying the man's name, to be honest.
Yeah, no.
I've been saying like. what have I been saying? The he'll shall not be named. I did the whole Harry Potter thing, but
I have a couple names for
yeah,
therefore they shall not be named, but I will
yeah,
keep them to
yeah,
myself.
yeah. That's okay. That's okay. We all do. But just the most recent news about this forward person trying to instigate trade wars with Canada, and
Mhm.
yeah, just curious to know. There's just yeah, lots of stuff going on. Lots of stuff going on. We still love our Canadian. Oh my God! Of course, we love our Canadian fans. Our American fans, our American family down there. I know it has not been easy for all of you, and now it seems like we're starting to be piled into that not so easy box potentially.
No,
So
no,
yeah. So Mr. Antonio, super stoked to have this gentleman back on the show. He is full of life, like I mean full, full, full,
hmm
full. And I was saying to him just briefly, he actually just this is how prompt he is. He messaged me, "I'm coming on in 3 minutes."
hmm
Okay, we're ready. What
Yeah,
are you doing
literally.
right? And if you're not watching, how what happened? You just like put on your hood. You all of a sudden, like, is this your
Yeah,
preparation? What's happening? Are you turtling?
I just felt like putting my hood up.
I've never seen this is a new thing.
It is new.
Turtling, putting your hood on over top of your headphones. Is this like a new look? Oh, I could do the same thing.
I know it's like my foreskin came back all of a sudden.
Did you keep it? Oh, it'd be way too tiny.
God, no, my
Like,
God.
what would you? Sorry,
What, to re-traumatize it? For what? Hey,
I
guess
don't
what?
know. I
You're
don't know.
going over a larger head now. Congrats. Good luck.
Oh, talk about pardoning our
Ugh,
ADHD.
ugh, ugh, ugh.
I'm sorry, folks. This
Pardoning
conversation,
my pardoning my Judy HD.
that too. Sean's gonna come on and being like, "What the heck is going on, you two wackos?"
Sorry, folks. Leave it to me
I'm
to always be the one that's going to make Rachel react. That's just the rule I've taken
that's
unintentionally.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. I'm not sorry at all. And what were you clapping?
Yeah, these are stress balls in the hoodie.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Okay, what?
yeah. Craig, who was on our last episode, my partner,
Yeah.
he likes to surprise me with sensory friendly things that help me with my autism and ADHD. And this is a Cloud9
That's
hoodie from somewhere in China,
wow.
and it has stress balls sewn
That's
into
so
the
cool.
pockets. Yeah, it's
That's
actually
so
really cozy.
cool. Okay, gosh, we're
Yeah,
hopping all over the freaking place today. Sean is waiting in the wings,
we're just dying for him to come
just
on to
about
just
just
shut
about
us
to
up.
admit him. We're admitting him. We're admitting him to the fun house.
Yeah, it is the fun house, literally.
Hi,
Hello,
Sean.
hello. You're
Hi.
alive.
Hello, I'm
Oh,
alive.
what a great way to start. We're like, we're admitting you to the fun house. Welcome to the crazy Canadian winter fun house.
Yes.
Am I supposed to wear a hoodie? Am I not?
Yeah.
I'm underdressed. Done.
Yeah. Oh my God, you have one?
I
Oh,
have
jeez.
one. I'm totally the rocket.
You're in
Yes.
California. Why do you need a hoodie?
Why do you need a hoodie? Do you ever need a hoodie where you are?
Right now, yeah. Believe it or not, here in LA, it's kind of chilly and cold, so I'll
Oh my
throw it on.
God. Oh my God,
Yeah.
look at that.
It's chilly and cold. I own like a couple hoodies. I never wear them because LA never needs them. But here we go.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Oh my
Okay.
God,
So
interesting.
what is chilly and cold though?
Not Canadian chilly cold. Here it gets down to like we wake up. It's like 46 or 42 degrees.
Okay.
What is that in
It's
Celsius?
valid.
That's like 5 or 6
Is it
degrees,
5 or
isn't
6 degrees?
it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
That's
true.
I think
valid.
that's true, especially when we're used to wearing shorts and t-shirts and stuff. We're not
Yeah.
used to hoodies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
I
temperature
know.
shock.
We sit in the closet most of the year, you know?
Totally. Totally.
Well,
They
and I
need to
was
come
just-
out of the closet more.
Yeah.
As
Hello,
we all
guys.
shall.
Hello.
Hello.
First of all, Alicia says hi. She sends a
Hi,
hi and says,
Alicia.
hello, Rachel. She knows
Oh,
you guys.
amazing.
Aw,
Amazing. Is she
sweetheart.
under the bed or is she down the hall? Is she
She's in the other room managing the two crazy locals called the Antonio kids. So,
Hi, Alicia.
Viva and Finn. Yeah, she's in the other room. So the kids are in mode.
Oh my
Cute.
gosh. Well,
Aw.
in part of my mind, fashion, as you probably could imagine, we are recording. So
Yeah, of course.
everything you say at this point
Yeah.
shall and will be
documented?
forever documented.
Done. I'm not holding back at all. No fear. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
I didn't think so, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we just it's like a disclaimer, just like have to say it.
Yeah, totally. Hi, Rach. It's great to see your face. I've seen Hero and I've kept in touch recently. We've talked. We've caught up a little bit here and there, but it's great to see your face.
I know. Thank you. It's so nice to see your face. You haven't aged a day.
Nope.
No, I got younger. There's this button I press.
Is there? Oh my God! It's like Benjamin Button.
Yeah. I started. You know what? To be honest, we did this launching of a self-care year last year into this year where we decided to self-care in every aspect: our bodies, our mind, our health, everything we're doing, and also too, like pulling everything into integrity, like having the right address on your driver's license. Alicia renewing her green card. We moved 6 months ago, having our P.O. box, all that stuff forwarded to here. Having our LLC matching up with all our numbers, having our bank accounts clear. Like knowing all the things. So like, I guess it's called maturity, and I coach people on that all the time.
I love it.
Going to sleep at an appropriate time. So you get for me, 6.5 hours of sleep is my window. Bam! I'm fire with 6.5 hours of sleep. Just being kind of responsible, that other weird word.
Yes.
Kind of,
Kind of. I know. We kind of
is a weird word.
It is a weird word, but it's definitely in our vocabulary.
Yeah, I just learned how to spell it. So here we are.
Oh, I love that. With the hyphen in between too. Incredible.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Kind of. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So thank you for the compliment. But honestly, and also too, we leveled up our mental health happiness. We got rid of any bad habits that we had. And there's some here and there that pop up. Some nights we stay up too late and we should go to sleep. But for the most part, we got rid of anything toxic in our lives, including people that were energy vampires, which I think we have talked about this before, people who just let you all the time. I look at the value of who's in my life and who's bringing what's in my world. And not that everybody has to bring a big bag of awesome to my world, but at the same time, if people aren't putting a smile on your face or inspiring you or laughing with you or just doing something that brings some joy to your life, why are they in your life?
What is the point? I know. So, or even, I get that. And even... I was saying to some people more recently, it's the people that don't necessarily, I think you might have somehow instilled this sprinkle of this, maybe our first conversation, I think you said something like, if you're thinking of somebody, why not just shoot them a message?
That's me.
It is you.
That is Shawn.
Honestly.
I've been doing that since August of 2003. Specifically, I can pinpoint it. When I started doing that.
Oh, look, I just lost my arm for a second there with the... it's gone! Okay. And it's something that's actually something that I tried to bring into, well, not just 2025, but even last year, just being like, you know what? And even if I don't, it's not like I'm expecting something back. It's just I want to put that out to the universe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why not? I'm thinking about somebody in a positive way. Why hold back? And you know what? And it's going to make that person feel great.
Yeah. It's the art of giving with intention without reciprocation.
Exactly.
You don't need to have it back, right? So if you're just giving, and that's something Alicia and I have been practicing hardcore the past month and 5 days this year, is just give when you can, right? As long as it's not putting you out and you can give of your time, your energy, your moment. A friend of mine called me the other day. He just wanted me to listen. He wanted to vent. Yeah. And I had a window of time where I could just walk and keep doing what I was doing and could listen. He didn't want feedback or coaching or anything. He just wanted me to listen and get it out of him. And at the end of it, he's like, Shawnee, thank you so much for that. So that's it, Yeah. Sometimes you got to do that.
Well, and speaking, it was kind of a decent segue, I think, because you just talked about the last month and a half or so, and just, giving is sometimes, just what has to be done and what kind of just floats the universe, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I know
dive right in.
We're diving right in because we did mention just before you popped on kind of what the topic would be today. And just because you are, one of the people that we do know that was affected by the Los Angeles fires not too long ago. And I'm just assuming that what you're talking about the last month and a half, just part of that is what you've gone through the last little while. So if you don't mind, take us through that.
Yeah, I'm totally in. So it's really powerful that it landed on today, because today is my once a month, my friends live that I do for the almost past 2 years with my coaching clients and friends. So today we talked about healing.
Wow.
So to everybody watching this, listening to this, when you guys hear it, I'm Shawn Antonio. Great to be with you guys again. I love you guys. And whoever's listening out there, this is a moment in time. Los Angeles got devastated has been the word, for all intents and purposes. We had early on in January, we had announced in the national weather forecast that we have a lot of Santa Ana winds. But they actually said in the news, they said life-threatening winds. On like the 4th, 5th, and 6th of January. They said life-threatening winds. I'd never seen that. I've been in January 16th has been 26 years I've been living in Los Angeles. I've never seen a warning like that. So we heard life-threatening. I didn't, we took it, we got it. But we didn't know that along with that, California has been so dry lately. So all the brush fire area, which is now devastated. And pardon me, if you hear a little noise in the background here and there, it'll be Viva Jean, 9 years old, and Finn, 2 years old. So they're playing and having fun.
Oh,
so if you hear that,
I don't even hear them, but I wish I did.
Great. They're doing their Dungeons and Dragons fun stuff they do. But point being, and I kind of don't want to make this a sad thing because it's been really heavy in Los Angeles.
Yes.
January 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th was a really, really big day for me and my family. So I'll speak on my behalf. I'll speak about everybody else as well that I know because I luckily know a lot of people in this world and have the great fortune of people coming to me and sharing their lives with me. But for us, we were prepared but not prepared. We knew the winds were crazy. We saw January 8th. There's a Wednesday here. And I was working, coaching, doing my lives and things I was doing with people. And, we were mindful, but we saw the trees outside bending, which they don't bend. In our view, we're right in the middle of Hollywood. We moved right into dead center of Hollywood. So Capitol Records is outside my window, and there's a CNN building, and Hollywood and Highland Walk of Fame. Walk of Fame is right there. We're in it. We're in the trenches, right?
Wow.
Concrete jungle. So we're safe. We're good. But we saw these trees bending, and we're like, all right, something to notice. So at 5:57 that night, I remember I was on a session with a friend of mine, and I get a call from one of my good friends, Daryl, who I just saw recently on Saturday. And he calls me and says, Shawn, get the fuck out of Hollywood. First of all, he's not panic guy. He's super cool, mellow, chill guy. He's never like that. He said, there's a fire in Runyon Canyon. For people who know Los Angeles, me living in Hollywood, Runyon Canyon's right fucking there. It's right there. Hollywood sign's right there. So we're in it, right? So we, all I did was take immediate action. And as soon as I got off the phone with him, he's like, get out of Hollywood. It's burning. I'm like, whoa. Our Amber Alert or Fire Alert goes off on all of our phones literally at 6:02 p.m. Just boop, boop. I was walking into my last session of the day, and one of my best friends, I said, hey, Rushi, I got to go. We got to evacuate Hollywood. The shock and awe of, a place I've called home for 26 years. We have to evacuate the concrete jungle because there's a fire coming for us. And it was uncontrollable, right? It was just all over.
And that's something you don't, why, how, it, in a million years, I would never think of the city of an urban
the city of Hollywood, California. Yes. Now, this is one of the most touristy, if not the most touristy city in the world. One of them, anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, Alicia and I we got into freak out mode. When I say freak out mode, we just got in action. It was 6:03 p.m. We were out of here by 6:15. We took what we have on us. We packed the kids' meds, clothes, diapers, all the things we needed for them. And literally with just complete and total focus, we got out of my house by 6:15 p.m. Downstairs, first of all, our neighbors, we have a beautiful building we live in, a 1927 building. It's a historic landmark. So this building's protected. They on rollers. It's got all types of cool stuff. It's amazing. Yeah. But we saw neighbors running up and down the stairs, going down. So people were frantically getting out of here. Then we pulled out of the garage, and I see people flying down. It was almost apocalyptic. That's the way I have to describe it.
Yeah.
It was hurried, rushed, traffic everywhere. Lights were out. Trees were being blown. You can catch the ash. The ash was coming straight to. So we didn't know we didn't know where to go. Honestly, I blanked out. I know thousands of people that live right here, and I couldn't figure out where to go because we had to evacuate
everybody.
Everywhere. So we drove down to Koreatown, geographic-wise from here. It's about, 5-6 miles south of here. So we went southeast because all the fires were in the west. So coming from Pacific Palisades and Malibu, Pacific Palisades, Malibu, gone. Right? Broke insane. It's still unbelievable. It's still, shocking is the word, right? So all of that, and then it went into like parts of West LA, and it got really bad. So all of that was coming over here, and then Runyon caught on fire. And Runyon Canyon, for people who are hikers and tourists who've been here in Hollywood, Runyon Canyon's a pretty famous spot. We all go hiking there. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Burned down. All of it.
Is that on the way to the Hollywood sign?
It's to the it's west of the Hollywood sign. Okay. So it's like the Hollywood sign's here, and then you go a little bit west, and Runyon Canyon is between La Brea. It's right off La Brea, which is like the main road here in Hollywood. Yeah. One of the main roads. But it's surreal. Our neighbors took a video from their apartment, because their apartment looks that way, towards Runyon Canyon. They have a video they sent me. That's them, the fire, you could see it right there. It's like right there. So we evacuated, and it took me and my family, Alicia, Viva, Finn, and I, and Viva, our 9-year-old, was, in shock and just asking a bunch of questions. She's like, I'm so sorry, Mom, I just don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. And I'm staying, I was like numb. This like this weird, like, I've never been in something like this. I've been through hurricanes in South Florida. I've been through earthquakes here. I've been through some crazy stuff. I've been through, some tragedy, but nothing like this. Because this was like run for your life type shit. Whoa. Yeah. And it wasn't as bad for us. I was not in Pacific Palisades. I was not in Malibu. I was not in, all in the Eaton fires. I was not in that. But this was still so like intense. Yeah. So we went down to Koreatown, and we parked at a McDonald's, and we just ate frantically. And we were trying to figure out what to do, where to go. Called a couple of friends and said, hey, where are you guys? My friends were in like Redondo Beach in San Diego. They took off. They were like, I'm getting as far as I can get away. So I just kind of had this moment, and Alicia leaves over. She goes, "Hey, what about your cousin Eric? Because he lives in the Mid-Wilshire area, far enough away to where we could still watch. Literally, he has a 16-story building. He lives at. We could look back at our building from his rooftop.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
So we went to his rooftop. First of all, still shaking off the energy. We spent 7 hours with him while they luckily doused the fire and took it out. 10 helicopters. We watched the helicopters just nailing it. I mean, kudos to the helicopter pilots, kudos to the firefighters. That fire was out in 7 hours.
Wow.
So, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that about that one. Okay.
Back in our apartment, still ashy, still funky, air quality junky at like 1 a.m. So we left here at like 6:15ish. We got back home at 1 a.m. The kids were exhausted. They crashed, right? They were done. Yeah. Viva did not go to school the next day. The air quality was shit. Schools are shut down all over LA. So it was pretty bad. So we all needed, honestly, it took us about 5 days to decompress and shake that off. Again, I and us, we are fortunate. We didn't lose anything. No. We have a fuck ton of friends who lost houses, cars, businesses. Like, I've seen so much devastation. And you know what? The emotional toll on Los Angeles, the only thing I can compare it to, even though it's not the same, is when Kobe Bryant died. When he died, LA was sad for 3 months, solid.
Really?
It was everyone was just like broken. We were heartbroken as a city because we knew how much Kobe Bryant mattered to us, especially if you're a sports fanatic or a Lakers fanatic. And, people in LA Angelenos are very passionate about their sports. It's been like that. We're like almost like licking our wounds. Yeah, and we're all like softer right now and more compassionate and empathetic. And we talked about it today on my live. We talked about, there's no rush to get back to the new normal, but we have a tendency to want to fix it, but not process it. So today we talked about, we got to all process the emotional toll and the upset and the upheaval for people who lost their houses that were, 40 years, 45. And the crazy part about Pacific Palisades, people thought it was all celebrities. There's a very small percentage of celebrities who live in Pacific Palisades. So it's mostly people who have done well for themselves financially, but they lost everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or it's also people that have had those homes for decades.
Yeah, I'm talking 20, 30, 40 years. Yes.
That people were saying, it's like, okay, hey, look, like some of these people, they were very fortunate to have these houses for many, many decades. But if it came down to like, so-and-so, let's say they wanted to invest in a house there now, they couldn't do it. It's just because they were so fortunate that they were able to. It's not always, I know. And I was reading that too. Like, it isn't just the celebrities. And that was just a really horrible spin that they put on this.
Yeah, they kind of talked some shit.
We
heard like they talked about us being spoiled Angelenos and we're privileged. And a girl that I fucking love, I don't know who she is. She popped up on, somebody sent me her. And I saw her, and she talked about, hey, in a very kind way, not the way I'm about to say. She's like, hey, motherfuckers out there, we just burned down. Have some compassion. We're not all spoiled brats. We worked our asses off for our stuff. So you watch us. We're going to rise like the phoenix and fucking crush you bitches. Like she said it like that.
Right,
Like,
right.
Yeah.
why would you guys talk shit about a natural disaster that happened to us? Well, it doesn't matter how rich or poor or whatever you're between. My house burnt down. I lost everything I worked my ass off for. It doesn't matter if I'm worth $1 billion or I make $100,000 a year. I still lost what mattered to me. So compassion. And like LA is that hashtag LA strong. Man, people have done some great stuff and showed up. I'm actually helping my friend Steve Suck. I'll plug him real quick. He's doing a big celebrity event, a golf charity event. Sunday, is it the March 16th? Yes. So March 16th, I'm getting some celebrity guests to actually be part of it. It's going to be a huge fundraiser, and people all over LA are doing fundraisers. My friend Manushka Guerriere, she's a huge celebrity chef. She just fed 628 or 83 firefighters in a big kitchen downtown LA. And she did that. She filmed it. It's all over. It's great. Like
amazing.
I found out that LA had more heart than I'd seen in recent history. We've all shown up. All
Incredible.
That is what like it's so heartwarming, but yet I also just it makes me feel like, man, I wish that just has staying power. I really hope it does. Because
Rach, it might. I mean, it's changed us.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope it's just unfortunate that those kinds of tragedies have to happen sometimes in order for collectively us to come together and connect and, shed all the differences that we have.
Exactly. In my opinion, Alicia Antonio, before she was at Antonio, when we were just business partners, 2011, she said, sometimes education is violent. And that's the only way we learn. Because and it's sad, but every time we have tragedy or somebody dies, I've been in so many fucking funerals this past year. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And it's sad. I've lost some very core people who are mentors of mine and good friends of mine.
Sorry.
And it sucks, right? And thank you for that, Rachel. But why do we always have to have tragedy happen as human? And this is a big question for all of us as humanity, right? Why do we have to have tragedy happen to us for us to make massive changes? What's that about? Why are we that? Because LA is not the same. I mean, it really is. I've heard less horns in Los Angeles since this. And the rebuild, the rebuild's going to take years. It's not going to be 6 months, 8 months. It's going to take years. So like, for me, the emotional toll, obviously that's my lane as a life coach. I am helping all my friends through their emotional toll. When they have to cry, when they need me for a moment, when they just want to bounce something off me, when they want to yell, scream, freak out, or frustrated, whatever it is, I'm there for all that. But it really, and you know what? This is what I've been calling it. And I haven't said it publicly, so you're the first people I'm saying publicly to it. It's a great, not great, it's a reset. It's a reset for us to really reset our priorities and what really matters to us, because, we have this thing in America called, you guys are in Canada, right? So in America, they have this thing called the pursuit of happiness, right? And for me, I call bullshit on that statement, because there is no pursuit of happiness. Either you're being happy or you're not happy. And if you're not being happy, fix whatever that is. That's not have you at your happiness, you're happy, right? So we've been kind of not mind fucked, but kind of cultured or conditioned into this. There's a pursuit to a happiness. Like it's an out there thing. It's not an in here thing. Right?
I know, right?
And unfortunately, in many cultures, but specifically I'm talking about America right now, we've been conditioned to like get things to reach to your happiness. Get the nice car, the mansion, get the high-powered job, or create a company where you become a millionaire. Get to a status, and then there's happiness. I know most of the people, I won't name names because that'd be fucked up with me, but most of the millionaires and billionaires I know are not fully happy. They're not. Right. They just have things and responsibilities and companies and stuff. But like most of the people that I know that are wealthy, or like, and when I say wealthy, I'm talking like 100 million and up, billionaires, and even the people who are worth 30, 40, 50 million, they're not actually happy because they thought that getting to that thing would get them. That's what started my life coaching career, actually. Meeting celebrities who had all this money and fame and houses and cars and stuff, and were unhappy because the happiness isn't here. So I think, and this is a total shout out to my Angelenos, because I consider myself an Angeleno. I've been here for half my life. I'm 50, been here 26 years, half my life, right? We got to figure out who we are now. Who are we? Outside of all the material wealth and things that we got, and the cars and Mercedes and G-Wagons that burned down and all the stuff that happened, who are we now? And that's kind of, and maybe it's still a little too early. It's only the 5th of February. But it's kind of something to start looking at. It's like, we lost some shit. And again, I call mine a very small impact, but the evacuation was scary as fuck. It was very like, it was jaunting. It's like somebody came here, get out of your house now. You're like, what? What do you mean get out of my house? My house is not going to, well, like, it was like that, So it's a reset for us too. And gratitude is like the baby word of what I need to say. Like the gratitude is like way up here for the smells in my apartment, the walls, having a bed that I get to sleep in. Like, you kidding me? Like, there's friends of mine who were very well off, who had to go live in hotels for 8 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, they got mansions and Maseratis and stuff, and they're in,
Talk about humbling.
Humbling.
For someone like that. Oh my God.
Humbling. One of my dear friends, I just checked on him the other day. I was like, how you doing? He's like, dude, not good. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, 8 days with me and my family in a hotel. Luckily, he can afford a super stupid room, but still. Still, like, that's not everything you worked for. It might burn down, or it did.
Yeah. So how is this? And sorry, I know Hero hasn't. I'm sorry. I'll let you chime in if you'd like to.
Yeah.
If you ask me to ask.
Well, no, I was just going to, what I was really wanting to hone in on is the element of mental health with you being a parent. Because as two adults in a loving relationship, it's scary enough. But but the thing is that even though you have a 2-year-old, they're going to remember that. They might not consciously be fully aware of it, but that's going to impact them later. And you might wonder in 3, 5, 6 years from now, maybe there's be patterns of behavior that you'll know are from that because you're smart enough to know that. But then you also have an older child that is old enough to remember this. Like, they're more than enough of an adult to know this period of time. Yep. So I'm curious, I mean, not because of COVID, but that's another good example too. Like, you have a child that's been through 2 devastating local and global situations. As parents, what have you and Alicia noticed as your own selves as people, as parents, but also in the role of being a model, a role model, a figure, I guess you could say, for your children through these experiences?
That's a great question, Hero. Thanks for asking that. We are the most transparent parents ever. Alicia and I tell Viva everything. We talk about the state of politics. We talk about everything. And to add to the traumas that you just said, right? So yes, she's at 9 years old. She's been through COVID, a world pandemic, right? She's been through evacuation in Hollywood. So there's 2 massive. She's also had 5 major surgeries.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I think you guys know that or don't know that, but she's had 5 major spinal surgeries and foot surgery. So she's had some trauma. She has an amazing new therapist. Her name is Sam. She walked out of her first therapy session at Children's Hospital, and she said, and to me, I was like, yay. She goes, therapy is awesome. I think everybody should do therapy at 9 years old. Like, to say that, like, and her girl, Sam, she's fresh out of school. She just graduated. She has a great job at Children's Hospital, and her and Sam get along like this. So my daughter has me as a dad, Alicia as a mom, and then this awesome woman, Sam, who has her mental health stable. So
incredible.
We answer her questions with the truth. And we live the example, and you guys know us decently well. It's like we are the example of how to be resilient, how to get through things, how to be honest, how to be truthful. We don't let anything stop us. So as parents, we've grown, and what we learned, this is something huge for everybody listening on this one. I think our parents, not all of our parents, didn't tell us everything. They didn't tell us all the truths, right? They were trying to protect us. I know I had this conversation with my mom, right? They're trying to protect us from the outside world. My mom said, she said this, I was trying to protect your innocence. And I admire that. I said, Mom, I so admire that you were attempting to not let the craziness of the world impact me at 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. Right. But what we're doing is we're letting her hear the truth and realities. And we're just telling her the truth. And when she asks the question, she's like, well, why is this happening, Mom, Dad? If we have the answer, we answer it. If not, we say we don't know. And then what we've been doing the past couple of years, we Google it. Or we ask Siri, hey, Siri, do you know why this is or what it is? And then we get it answered in the moment. Because, like, I love you and I don't know. 3 of the most powerful words. I love you and I don't know. I don't know. You go looking for the answer. I love you. A person they feel seen, heard, understood, and supported, right? Yeah. So that's a big way to answer your question, Hero. But we be the example. We be the example. Alicia and I, like, our kids are pretty fucked because we're so madly in love, and Alicia and I are so great. We're about to hit 13 years of marriage on June 18th, and today is our 16-year anniversary of meeting.
Aww.
We met today. I was in a relationship with another woman at the time. Yeah. And there was no like instant sparks, chemistry. She's my girl. So no. It was just I met a cool chick. We built a friendship. But it was February 5th of 2009. It was a Thursday. And I went to this event. I met this Aussie chick and a bunch of her friends. I hooked them up in Vegas and we became friends. Lo and behold, here we are 16 years later. And the funny part is that the place that I was having dinner at that night, 16 years ago, is one building away from my building right now. Literally.
Oh, wow.
Really?
The other side of this building, there's another building across the street that my friend Maurice used to live at. We were having dinner with a bunch of friends. And I was there with my friends and my girlfriend. And I just went out with a friend. And literally, if somebody would have told me 16 years ago, hey, Shawn, 16 years from now, you'll be 50 years old, living 2 buildings away from here with 2 kids and a wife. I'd be like, you're lying. You're lying.
Wow.
Full circle. To wrap up that very long answer to your question, it takes time to really, for us, because we're so psychologically in tune with ourselves and our kids that we also make sure that they get the truth. And whatever that truth is for them, no assumptions, none of our past traumas inflicted on them.
Yeah. Not like cushioning them.
No.
Because that's what my parents did. I love you, Mom and Dad, but it was very much like kind of similar to what you said about protection and coddling. Yeah. And and for me, it was like there was no sort of preparation for when things do turn shitty. It's kind of like, no, everything's fine, everything's gonna be fine, everything's okay, blah, 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 blah. But then it's like when shit hits the fan, sort of like
you don't know you don't have the life skills.
No.
You don't have the life
So it sounds like you are trying to and have done a pretty good job of like preparing her in that sense.
Yeah, we're just letting her see what's real. We're not putting any twists or turns or opinions on it. We're like, hey, this is the truth. Because there's like the truth, and then there's the assumption, and then there's the third-party story. There's a game of telephone. No, we're like, here's the truth. Here's what's up. And then you form, what's your critical thinking is a huge thing. Actually, you know what? One of my favorite books from Micheline Duclair. Bam, Hunt, Gather, Parent. Book I read. I'm always reading books as a life coach. I always want to up my brain and see who else is writing stuff. And I wrote my own books, as you guys know. Yes. In this book, Micheline talks about how she traveled the world with her daughter. Her 7-year-old daughter. She traveled to different indigenous tribes all over the world, and she's lived with them for a certain amount of time. And she wants to find, it's about how ancient cultures teach us the lost art of raising happy and helpful little humans. Like these people get it right. My favorite part of this book, she says, we give the kids a chance to create their own critical thinking. So that's how it looks, right? For example, Finn, 2 years old, has this new thing where he likes to jump off of our bed. We have this mattress we pull out, and he likes to jump onto the mattress. I'm like, all right, cool. So we say to him, hey, Finn, if you jump too far, you're going to fall and eat shit, smash your face open. Or you can be safe and do it this way. We let him critically think. He's 2, so he's not going, yeah, Mom, Dad, I understand what you're saying. He's not doing that. But we're giving our kids the ability to have their own freedom and their own choices such that they can think about what's going to be the best outcome for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's man, I wish growing up that my parents and people that mentored me were able to tell me that kind of stuff. Like, hey, Shawn, here's a couple of things that may happen if you do X. And absolutely. That's how we range on so many different levels of kinds of parents. We do not helicopter. We do not micromanage. We do not punish. We incentivize. We do not hit. We do not. One of my friends, unfortunately, they said this, and I'll wrap up about this question after this. She washed her kid's mouth out with soap, and I was like, okay, got it, and I got it, and for her that works. I acknowledge her for that's the way she wanted to do her lifestyle and raise her kids, and I was like, okay, everybody has their own style. My inquiry would be like, hey, I wonder if I spoke to her son and I said, hey, how was that for you? What would he say? What would he say? Did it work and have the desired impact, or did it leave him with a piece of trauma? I don't know. So we got to think about like every action we have, and it's just back to being human and back to being in the fires of Los Angeles. Who do you want to be every day, and how do you want to show up in the world? And you got to be really clear that every action you take has an impact.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
How has like what's been going on in the past little bit? How has that shifted or impacted your business?
It's really amped up the amount of vulnerability. People are ready now. I think the masks have fallen down, and in my past 3 weeks, I should say 3 weeks of sessions, people are now going, thank you, Shawn. I needed to hear that. I've changed. I've gotten really raw and bold, and I had gloves off on January 1st already anyway. I was like, guys, 2025, we're fucking shit up. We're going for it. And then the fires elevated my ferocity. So I have my word of the year. I do a thing every year since 2003 called the word of the year. I also do ways of being, practices of ways of being. If I'm being unstoppable, if I'm being, radiant, if I'm being, responsible, mature, whatever, right? So I've been doing this for, 22 years now. But my word of the year I created for myself is savage. And what savage means for me is being really authentic, really bold, and really raw. It doesn't mean being nasty. Doesn't mean being cold. It means raw. And January 1st, we were treating ourselves to, I think, Taco Bell or McDonald's, because we were like, hey, we had a big night last night. I see some junk food, right? And I'm walking to McDonald's, and I see this guy, black sweater, white writing, savage across the shirt. And it's a clothing line. I know it's a clothing line. I know.
Okay.
But I saw it. So I declared my word. I'm walking to McDonald's, Taco Bell, and I see this savage. On the way back to my house, I see him again. I'm like, okay, universe.
That's it.
So that's it. So for me, it's really impacted my coaching style. And I kind of warned my people. I said, hey guys, this year I'm really going to call you on all your shit. And actually the funny part is, like, most of my people are like, Shawn, I need you to. I think last year you were a little bit soft on me. You were, because I'm your friend of X amount of time, and because you have empathy and sympathy for me, you've been soft. So I'm actually saying this to my people. They've been like, yeah, I need that. Like, I've had more after the session texts and at the end of the session texts, like, damn, that was powerful. I've had more tears this year. And not only here in SoCal, because I have clients all over the world, but, friends in Dallas, friends in Texas, and all over. And it's been like, I need to be that for them. Because if I'm being that for my life, and my life's really turning out, because despite all this craziness, Alicia and I and Viva and Finn are having a pretty phenomenal year. But
I'm so glad to hear that.
Despite all this, we're having a great, and I'm not going to brag, but we're having a fucking, because we shifted. Shifted. We made some changes, as I told you guys at the top of this call, is that, on top of the show, we made some changes that just had to impact our daily lives. And honestly, this reset, it's really impacted my business in a very amazing way. The amount of just deep conversations. I'm always in deep conversations, but the people that I've been talking to have been just like, ask me anything, Shawn, let's go. I'm like,
I'm ready.
Let's talk about that. And I'll say one last thing about that. One of my dear friends, I won't say his name, but we talked about, he lost his mom to suicide back when he was 14 years old. For the first time, we opened that up. And I've been coaching him for 6 years. Like, he's one of my dear friends. And like 6 years later, I'm like, hey man, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about the elephant. And he goes, cool. And we got into it. And it was beautiful. And it was so amazing. And just to hear him release that pain, of carrying that, So it's
was that very recent?
Last Thursday. Like last Thursday.
So I wonder what it's interesting to me with the state of the world and how everything seemingly is, if from the outside's perspective, is just getting more stressful. There's more demand. There's more shit going on. There's even for Canadians now.
Look who's in office without going political. Look who's in American office right now.
Well, I know, and it's starting to affect us now.
Oh yeah, it's going to change the world.
Right, it is, and so I guess my point is, or my question is, or more just observation, I guess. It's interesting that you're saying, like, even with all of that going on, it's what's positive is, like, it's not like people are going inside because it's just too much to handle. It's like they're actually like wanting to deal with the shit.
Yes.
And so what is that all about? Like, why do you think?
Yeah, I think it's you're spot on. I think it's like and I call them the elephants in the room, of course, because that's the most generic term people can understand.
Yeah.
Or at least is relative to this conversation. But I think people are ready to look at their elephants. And for me, on a business, first of all, I get so psychologically horny when people come to me with, "Hey, Shawn, I need your help. I need your coaching." Yeah. That's like Super Bowl for me, right? And beyond that, changing their lives and the impact they make in their lives, the butterfly effect, right? Like it's the rock across the water, the ripple effect, right? So I love, and that's why I like to coach famous people, CEOs, because they impact so many people. You know, the people believe them. So that's why I go after powerful people a lot too, because I know how to coach them, but I also know that their impact is massive. So for them, I think it's really, what's key is when you do deal with your elephants, there's freedom on the other side of it. But here's the thing. We've been so afraid our whole lives. I don't know if it's conditioning or culture or whatever's happened or other traumas on top of traumas. We don't want to look at the elephants. Guess why? Here's why. I found out. Did this deep dive. It's easier and more comfortable to hold on to our traumas.
Right.
Because it's familiar.
Easier. It's so familiar. It's It's comfortably uncomfortable familiar. Those are so we're used to telling that traumatic story. Oh my God, when I did this was happened. You know, like me, one of my traumas was, you know, being a Black Hispanic Dutch dude. No one was like me. I had a Spanish accent growing up. I spoke Dutch and English and Spanish.
That's cute.
You know, awesome. Thank you. Right, cute now. years old, getting made fun of. And then we have a lane and nobody that looked like me or talked like me. It was weird, right? So like, what did I do that trauma? I made it a positive. I said, cool, I'm different. Let me just be different. I didn't know how I did that at 12, but I did. But part of me was like, the negative bias brain went, you don't fit anywhere. So imagine, that was the force. Like, you're not good enough, you won't fit anywhere. So it's like, those elephants, I had to look at them. So I had to look at them in my 20s, 26, 27, 28. I looked at like, what's this noise in the background? And it was all that. So I think, you know, call it an awakening. I think people are ready to wake up and just like look at your shit. And I'm so that coach that likes to get in people's shit. I'm like, I have a good friend I'm starting with tonight, a couple hours from now. And it's our first session. I've known him for 12, 13 years. It's our first session. And I've been waiting. Oh my gosh. I told him 5 years ago I was ready. He's like, yeah, I'll be ready soon. 5 years ago. Wow. Here we go. Tonight we're starting. I'm like, fuck yeah, man.
That's exciting. So there's something going on then. There's a shift. There's a lot of like negative shit going on, but there is also a very positive shift that is happening. And it's really lovely to hear you in your profession bear witness to it and say, hey, this is happening. It's exciting. And
it's not my profession, it's my purpose. It's job. Yeah, but it's my purpose, right? Like,
good point.
I've been coaching people literally since I was 17. I didn't know what life coaching was until I was like 28. So I didn't know what even that was available. I thought I had to go to be a therapist to fix people's lives. But I'm like, no, let me figure out the way to do it. So I did all the studying and this and courses and stuff. And I became this guy. But I'm like, wow, if I have the natural gift to talk to people and have no fear about helping people in their lives, let me get the skill set too. So I built my coaching brand and here I am, you know?
Yeah.
But it's so fulfilled. When I go to sleep at night, Rachel, I go to sleep at night, I'm so fulfilled. How many people can say that? Like that, and that's not a brag. That's just an arrangement. Yeah. I made a commitment and I made an agreement with myself that every night I have to go to bed feeling fulfilled. Like I live my best Shawn every day. Like, oh, that's it. And if I'm not, and I'm off, I got to catch myself in those moments where I'm slipping. I call it slipping. Like when you're slipping, you're like, oh, that wasn't me. That's not the authentic me. What was that? That was a past version. I call it 2024 Shawn. I'm like, oh, sorry, that was 2024 Shawn. Sorry about that. I apologize. I'll fix that real quick. You know, like I think the higher consciousness of people are starting to wake up. And I only hope that we are, because the world, and I'm going to put it mildly, is in disarray. The world is in complete and utter. Mother Nature is screaming at us. Going, what'd you guys do to me? She's screaming.
Yeah, for sure. It's true. What I'm curious about as well, though, is when you think about the next year ahead, let's just keep it really tangible. What are your thoughts on, you already spoke to how some of the things in LA are shifting right now, but what are your predictions or your insights for this next period of time? How do you think LA as a community will evolve, or what would you hope to see perhaps that might be more tangible?
I'm going to speak this into the universe. I love tangibility. I want people to have this divide that's been in the world, in Los Angeles, of, you know, socioeconomic behaviors, and this is where certain colors of people hang out, this is where other people hang out. I'd like that divide to vanish. I'd like us to be an all-inclusive society where we all include each other in everything. Color lines, gone. You know, I'd like people to really be, kinder, man. There's definitely a little ego to Los Angeles. We definitely have that here. And there's definitely a little bit of judgment, you know, and there's definitely like, you stay with yours, I'll stay with mine. I really do manifest. I don't want to hope or pray. I want to manifest that we as people shift We make a massive paradigm shift, and we get better about just being great with each other and just like helping when you can and showing up. A new practice that I haven't started yet, I'm about to start, is giving money where I can, right? And one of the things I want to do is carry a roll of quarters, and when I see meters that somebody's out, just drop quarters in the meters.
Like
just
oh, that's great.
I forget where I got the idea. Somebody said something about helping somebody out, and I was like, how cool would it be if I just had $20 at all times in quarters? If I saw somebody's meter out, put $1 in. You know, like, so they don't come back to an $80, $90 ticket, you know?
Yeah.
No one loves to get tickets, or no one loves to get in those moments, right? So why not save that person that 6 minutes versus that $90 ticket, you know? So little things like that. And I would hope that, man, for Los Angeles, I hope we really do get to the core of why we're here. You know, like, what are we doing? I really want people to step into their purpose. Like, imagine if everybody in the world, specifically, but here in LA, if we were all living in our purpose, what would your life look like? How happy would you be? Like, if you were doing the thing you were born to do and the things that you came here to be on this planet to be, how would you? You'd be so nice and kind and accepting and loving and everything, you know? So I want that for my city. I want LA to come together. Because we do come together in tragedy, but why do we have to wait to tragedy? I don't want that narrative for Los Angeles anymore. I want our narrative to shift. That's the big answer. There it is.
Yeah.
I want the stigma and the narrative that Los Angeles has, that we have, to be eradicated. I want us to be known as a city where people come and they're like, oh, Angelenos are so nice, and they invite us in and they do this and they show us their town. I want that. Australia's got that on lock. Adelaide, where Alicia and Beaver are from, man, you go to Adelaide, they're like, oh, mate, come on over. Let me show you what I got. It's amazing, right? Canada, you fucking
for the most part,
you guys win. I think you guys and the Swedish have it like neck and neck.
Sort of, yeah. But to be honest, like, and this, we're not going to make this a political conversation. Sort of, yes, but because of who we've had also in power, there has been a big separation of people. And but the interesting thing is, because of, it's not yours, but I'm going to say just because of the Canadians versus Americans, the collective your fuck nut over there, somehow, oddly enough, what he was threatening about trade wars recently has actually connected even further Canadians from all sides. So, like, I guess just to leave it at, because, you know, I can't believe we've been talking for this long, but I really think that the thread is what you've already said, is finding the connection, finding the I don't know how you put it, but just that vibe between people where there isn't that separation.
It's a through line.
Well,
it's a through line, right?
It's
a common ground.
Commonality. It's a relatedness because we're all human, right? And skin color doesn't play a part. Money doesn't play a part. Like, I'd like all that to be gone.
It's that simple.
It really is.
It is.
It really is, you know, and I you know what, and honestly, just to plug that, this one moment, I tattooed this infinity logo on the back of my hand, February 4th last year. So
I was saying that looks newer. It is new. This is actually my company logo. It stands for okay, yeah.
You've seen it. It's been my logo for 5 years now, but I did this on purpose for many reasons, so people could have their own interpretation of what infinity is for them. For them, for you, right? And it's come up a lot. I've been doing a lot of talks lately and out in the world and done some keynote stuff. And people are like, hey, Shawn, what that tattoo on your head? Talk to me. And we've had some really great conversations. So I'm like, what's your definition of your infinity while you're here? It's open. That's why I did it. I tattooed this for many reasons, because I love tattoos, number one. Number two, I thought it'd be a great conversation icebreaker for people to go into deeper conversations. Like, what is your life going to look like right now moving forward? If you left all your traumas behind, all your bullshit behind, all your excuses, all your circumstantial stuff, who do you want to be? And just only do that. One of my favorite quotes in our fridge is, decide what kind of life you want to have and say no to everything that isn't that. Just say no. Like, just do what is your lane, but you got to figure out who you are and your purpose and all that good stuff. So I only manifest, Hero, to wrap up your question, is that we get better as a city. We get stronger, and we get, you know, because there's pockets. We have pockets all over Los Angeles, and there's this is where these people live, this is where these people live, and it's little this, and it's big this, and it's very segregated, right? And you can drive through LA and be like, oh, this is where all those kind of people are. I really hope that we do gentrify in a way where all that shit vanishes. But we are human, and we've been known to be savage in a bad way. So
back to savage.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna say Shawn the Savage Antonio.
Yes!
A pleasure to get savage with you, to pardon our minds. It's been a great honor to not only have you in my life continuously since you first came into it, but I really appreciate you taking, the last hour to come chat with Rachel and I, and also the greater public about what your experience has been in LA through what's happened, because there are a lot of people that are probably understandably maybe not comfortable opening up so fresh and so vulnerably about that, and maybe won't. And maybe people that are hearing this, even if they don't live in LA, but maybe live in the US and in Canada, or in areas where maybe natural disasters, including based on fire, maybe they're more common, this might potentially shed a bit of light on that. So we both, I can speak for Rachel, appreciate you taking the time to not only spend time with us, but really the main point is to help other people, and that's hopefully going to amplify what we're doing here. So thank you for being there with us.
Yay! Thank you for the invite. Thank you for. It's always great to be with you guys. It's my third time on your show, and
I know
the new rebrand. I love it. Part in my mind. It's just so great. So thank you, guys, and thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable and share what's really going on here, because it is still fresh, and people are not really talking about it.
Okay.
No,
they're not ready. They're not. That I've seen. Not quite ready.
And that's why when Hero came, he came to me and he's like, "What do you think if we talk to Shawn?" And I was like, "Well, ask him, but I'm also like, tread carefully."
Yeah. He was cautious.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Because I know it is so fresh. But as we kind of come to a closure, which is, we'll just say, until next time, not goodbye.
Yeah.
But what can you leave people with as far as how they can connect with you?
Yeah, for sure. Easy, guys. I actually give my phone number away. So I actually, straight up, you can call me directly or text me. All right. I prefer if you text me to say hello. But my number here in America is 310-428-5017. So you can shoot me a text, say, "Hey, I saw you on Part of My Mind," or "Rachel, I'm Hero. Love to talk to you." But you can find me on my website at shawnantonio.com, ShawnAntonio.com. You can find me all over social media at Shawn Antonio Life Coaching. You can Google Shawn Antonio Life Coach, and you'll find a ton of shit that I've done. So if you look Los Angeles, Shawn Antonio Life Coach, and you can find me, my number's all over that shit. Shoot me a text, shoot me a call. My email's there, all this stuff. So ShawnAntonio.com, you can see all the stuff I've done. I have an online school as well. I have books I've created, Be the Beast You Are, Having Amazing Relationships. So I'm all over you. There's no lack of not being able to get in touch with me.
No, I love it.
Love it. I love it. Oh, thank you so much, Shawn. It's been a pleasure, and I know this is only a continuing open dialogue with all of us. So thanks for coming back to talk with us.
We pause until next time, right?
Yes, absolutely. Exactly.
Yes, I love and adore you both. Thank you for giving me the platform to speak the truth. And I hope any Angelenos or anybody who's seen this, that I hope it provides some healing for you. And I'll say this last thing. Whatever you need to do to heal, focus on that. Whatever that is for you. And I'm not talking about just fires and all the stuff that's happening, but it's tragedy in one world. Whatever you're suffering over, focus on it and deal with it and actually look at it and look at and talk to your elephant in the room. Because then that's when the freedom starts, and then you can have the life you really want. So I'm going to leave you guys with that nugget. Okay?
Love it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Great to be with you guys.
Thank you so much, Shawn.
Yeah.
So good to see
Thank
you.
Shawn.
Great to see you.
Take care.
Have a great time.
Yes, have a great first session with your longtime friend tonight.
Yes, I definitely. I'm gonna yell at him. Tell him to get his shit together. All right, guys. Great to see you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.